Hey, what's going on, everybody? So it has already been an eventful morning. I was able to get to practice, but it took some time to get here. I got a flat tire on the turnpike, changed my tire, was able to go through traffic, a lot of traffic, back roads, but got the spare on. And I finally got to campus, able to watch practice. I'll get into my observations. Shout out to everybody doing that manual labor, the mechanics, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, construction workers, everybody. Shout out to everybody there doing that hard work. Okay. Let's get into my observations today. I focused in on the linebackers today. They're in full pads, practice number 12. Again, focused on the linebackers because I wanted to see these guys. I've seen them throughout the fall, but I really wanted to just pay a lot of attention to it. I want to show you guys Caleb Johnson. You've heard the buzz about the UCLA transfer in his 6th year of college. He took a year after high school, so it's his actual 7 years since high school. It's crazy. 24 years old, linebacker, but he's impressed. You know, Mario Cristobal spoke about him, so I watched him. I want to show you his video. And watching Caleb go through these drills, it's pretty impressive. You know, he's got good footwork. He goes through the drills, does everything, it looks like does everything Charlie Strong asks of him. And I do want to mention, you know, I don't think we mentioned enough about Charlie Strong and the impact he's going to make on these linebackers, you know, with all of his expertise at the position, coaching at the NFL level, and obviously being a head coach at a high level. Caleb has talked about how he really feels like Kevin Steele, you know, that defense is going to be helpful for him. And he spoke recently that he feels like he's catching on, and I think that's a good sign for him. And I really think he's going to continue to emerge as we get closer to game time. Also with these drills, two other guys that, you know, are either first or second in line almost every drill that we've seen throughout fall camp, and that's Corey Flagg, who led the team in tackles last year. I know that might be a little surprising. Or Waymon Steed, another guy that's been around for a long time, and it's one of those two guys kind of either leading the stretching or going first in a lot of the drill reps. So I think both of those guys are factors in this. There's no doubt about that. So, and it's going to be interesting because Miami's going to go with this package. They're going to set it up where it's strong side, middle, and weak side. They'll go with the base 4-3, basically, depending on what the other teams bring out with their personnel. And Coach Steele's talked about that. If you haven't seen it yet, check out his interview on Media Day that I posted where he explains it all. But basically, they're going to match up. If a team comes out 3 receivers, they'll throw in that star position, which is a defensive back, and they'll go with 2 backers, and it's either they'll change the Mike to a Mac, and also the other position's called a money. With linebacker, he's going to get the best 2 guys out there, even if they're both middle linebackers. For example, Corey Flagg's a middle, as well as Caleb Johnson. They're both playing middle. If they end up being the best 2 guys, they'll be out there. But like I said, Waymon Steed is certainly in the mix. Keontra Smith has played a lot of football as well. As of now, I don't see him, you know, quite at that level as those other 2 guys. And then another guy to watch for is Wesley Bissainthe. It's pretty evident watching him out here in drills, not just today, but throughout the fall, that, you know, his explosiveness, his quickness, you know, his ability to kind of make a quick read, it's all evident when you're out here. But he's a freshman, and it's hard to make that transition. Even though he was playing at a high level at Miami Central, it is tough, you know, to learn all this stuff. And he did go through spring football, which helps. But he's certainly one of these guys that I think is going to play either on special teams, but certainly has a chance to be in the mix at linebacker. It might take some games. You know, it's just one of these things to monitor. Also, he's got to play well when he gets his opportunity. And certainly, you know, he's going to get opportunities early in the season with Miami playing Bethune-Cookman early. Southern missed the 2nd game before Texas A&M, so he's going to have opportunities. And I think, you know, gaining that experience, making his debut will be big, and then just kind of building on that. So maybe it might not be a job that he wins in fall camp. It's something to watch for as the season goes along, because I do think he's going to improve from where he's at now, you know, to middle of the season, you know, obviously towards the end of the year. One of the drills they worked on today was really just staying low. And so what they do is they place a stand, and they've got to get underneath it and kind of explode out of it. And they're also working on some quickness stuff with their footwork. So every drill, it seems like, or a lot of drills that Coach Strong has them do, it's not just one thing that they're working on. So it's staying low, sliding out, and then also making a hit, because again, they were in full pads. So seeing guys wrap up was good, but there's usually different elements added to each drill. Again, I'll post the video so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, but it is unique. It is interesting, and it's just a way for them to maximize each drill. A lot of things to work on, definitely. You know, as far as the pairings go, you know, certainly you see a guy like Steed and Flagg, as I mentioned, kind of in a pairing together, but they do mix it up. And one of the pairings that I saw that should probably excite you guys is I did see a Caleb Johnson in a drill paired up with Wesley Bissainthe. So if you're looking at maybe forecasting for the future, or definitely drop in the comments below what 2 linebackers in particular against that nickel, in that nickel defense, because I do believe Miami's going to face a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. So I do think you'll see nickel out there quite a bit. you know, when they bring in that star position. But what two linebackers in particular do you want to see the most of? Chase Smith is a guy that Caleb actually said is coming along. You know, he feels like he's made that adjustment. Caleb doesn't know his background, you know, from where he's been. But Chase is going into his second year, making that transition from striker, being out in the spring, and now he's definitely a linebacker in this new defense. So Chase is a guy, once again, one of these young guys to watch for on special teams, I believe, especially early on in the year. You know, I came into this practice just happy to be out here, but I was hoping to focus on linebackers and also tight ends. I don't feel like I've watched them nearly enough as I'd like throughout the fall. They do get mixed in with the receivers, so you do see them catch passes, but I do want to make note of it today because, you know, just some things that I noticed, and also kind of going back on my conversation with former Hurricane tight end Asante Cleveland. So Will Mallory was in the non-contact red jersey again today. However, I do want to mention when he's out here, he does seem to move well. So take that for what it's worth. I don't think it's anything serious because he is out here. I think they're just being careful with him, just a precautionary thing. I still think he's in store for a big year. If he's unable to go, whether it's the opener or whatever it might be, I definitely think it's Elijah Arroyo's at number 2 tight end. I think Jaleel Skinner's an intriguing prospect. I just don't think he's quite there yet, and that's fine. I really like what Elijah brings to the table. So this summer, one of the things that stood out to me in talking to Asante, Cleveland, you know, former Hurricane, played in the NFL, played for the Patriots. He talked about the tight end position in general, and I think it's just interesting. I don't think we like address this enough or even think about it enough, but basically he was talking about how it's a very unique position because you're at a mismatch almost every possession or every snap. What he means by is if you're staying in a block, you're usually blocking guys bigger than you at the defensive line or defensive end position. And he also mentioned those guys have been rushing the quarterback or really battling along the line of scrimmage all game long, whereas a tight end might be out, you know, running routes quite a bit during the game, but their responsibilities sometimes change up and they've got to block. So they're not used to blocking all game long or understanding the tendencies of a defensive end the way an offensive lineman would. So they're often at a disadvantage on that standpoint. And when they're running routes, they also have a disadvantage most of the times because if they face a safety in a one-on-one type situation, the safeties are generally faster. Same way at linebacker. Sometimes a linebacker will guard a tight end. Oftentimes, the linebacker is faster at that position than a tight end, so they're at a disadvantage there as well. So it's all about being able to take advantage of these little mismatches that you're going up against, and they're really good tight ends, whatever level that might be. They're able to just play to their strengths and you know, do a good enough job having that mismatch against them and still find ways to be productive, whether it's blocking or catching passes. So I just want to wrap this up. Miami is expected to have a short practice on Friday as they prepare for their second scrimmage, which will be closed on Saturday. It looks like a day off on Sunday and Monday. Monday is the first day of classes. You know, just kind of walking around campus here today, I can already see a lot of students. I saw a lot of the baseball players walking around earlier. Soccer team is having their season opener today. So there are lots going on campus. Definitely, you're starting to feel that buzz that the semester starting over again. So anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thanks for your patience. Glad I could be out here. Wanted to be out here today. I didn't want to let you guys down, so I definitely had to get that tire fixed. So anyways, hopefully you have a good rest of the day and take care.